YouTube live stream thing goes. So I thought I'd try basically a video where I show you a bit of what I've been working on, which isn't to do with models, but is to do with wargaming. To be specific, Gorkamorka, as you can probably tell from the title. I'm not expecting anybody to join in the chat because I haven't advertised it, but I'm really curious to see how my computer handles the transfer rate and all that sort of gumph. And in the process, it's really simple for me to make a video with no editing at the moment, so it's perfect for this format really, and it saves the upload time as well. So let's give it a go. So basically what I wanted to show you today is this, if you follow me over here. So what you're seeing here, up here, is a sheet I've been working on. So I found a sheet, a roster sheet that somebody done in Excel, internet, took it, stuck it up on my Google Docs, which I'll put a link in the description eventually when this is uploaded, which will just sort of, I think I'm dropping frames, sorry if it stuttered a bit there. So I'll put a link in the description so you can download it yourself and have a play with it if you want to. But basically, so I'll just talk you through it basically. So what you've got is you've got your mob name, your mob rating is already worked out automatically, but we'll go through that in a bit. It's also a great excuse for me to talk about Gorkamorka for a few minutes as well. So what have I done? So basically the guy who made it before was fantastic. He made these sheets here, so you can see he's put down all of the characteristics, everything, even notes and the weapons that things can use, and then he's got the whole armory as well. So you can see here and all of the information, which is absolutely fantastic, because what that allows me to do with my knowledge of Excel is to actually have a play and have it automatically populate. For example, I can take this drop down here, change it from a knob to a spanner, and it won't change anything there. In fact, oh, there we go. So you saw it changed these characteristics. It took a little bit of time because it's working with Google Docs. Unfortunately, that is quite slow. So you can very easily just set up a whole gang just by going down here and choosing the different types of model that you want to use. You don't have to type it out or anything like that. What it also does, if you look over here, is sets out the price automatically, again, which is grabbed from the other sheet. And in the same vein, you can set up different weapons, as you can see here, a bow and all that sort of thing. It populates everything. It even populates the notes, which you can see there. And then again, you can choose to have armor or no armor, and then if you choose to have a shield, it'll give you the 6+, and then you can choose to have studded armor, which would normally be 6+, but because you've got the shield, it puts that up to 5+. So that's one of the things. Again, these fields here are needed, and the price is constantly being, the cost in teeth is constantly being updated, which is affecting your mob rating up here and a lot of other things. So that is basically how I've tried to make it really simple. Mainly for myself. It's quite a selfish thing for myself to use on my tablet, but also I thought I'd make it available for people on the internet. Now it's worth mentioning that soon Yak Tribe, who are the guys who've set up like a whole campaign manager which basically does this on a website, and you can save it and share it with your friends, and it's a fantastic piece of kit, but they're actually expanding that to include not just Necromunda as it is now, but also going to include Mordheim and Gorkamorka as well, which are basically, they're very similar in the fact that you run a campaign, so you have a roster of people, and they change from game to game. They might get injured, have a head wound where they become like angry, lose a leg, get a crippled arm, that sort of thing. So they lose strength and all sorts of funky stuff. And that will be a much better way of handling it. But for now, until that comes out, I really felt the need, now that I've had a game, to create something like this. So that is essentially how that's handled. Now, the mob rating affects the sort of experience you get depending on who you're playing against. If you're playing against a mob that's got more experience than you and it costs more than you, then you get more experience and you get certain things in the different scenarios. And that's worked out based on these values here. Sorry, I just realised that was behind my own head. Anyway, so there's some jiggery poker goes on in there, complicated script, and that works out your mob rating automatically, so you don't have to mess around with that either. Now, another part, you'll notice that this just comes to 65 points, but if you look up sorry, that comes to 65 points. But if you look here, there's no way that I've used 65 points there. The reason for that is that we also have vehicles. Now, Mad Max style in Gorkamorka, you have different vehicles. And again, I've got it here, so you choose the different vehicles, and that automatically affects the cost. And here you can choose the different weapons, and that affects this line here, which basically tells you what the weapon does. And then you can choose the different orcs which man them. You have a driver, you have a spanner who looks after the car. This is very, very similar to, when you think about it, to the new Mad Max video game, and the way that you have that guy who's on the back and he's looking after your vehicle. That's what the spanner is. You have to have a spanner in order to have a vehicle. You have the driver, who can actually be the spanner, or you can be the gunner, or you can just be a guy who's running around. It's that's the way you can do it. And then you have the different things like the permanent damage the vehicle's got. It might have a problem with its engine, or gubbins you've attached, or just custom things that you've done to it. And again, there's space here for 4 of those, and you can choose. That